Hello and welcome back to Bluegrass Dreams to Scenes. My name is Cheryl. Welcome back to everyone. I am so glad that you're willing to join me for a little while today. I try to keep my videos short. Main reason is because it takes so long for me to upload anything. So 10 to 15 minutes generally. Sometimes I do a little bit more, but I try to hold them down. Now, first, I want to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. She gave me a shout out. And Jen, my subscriptions have jumped almost triple, if I remember correctly. I really appreciate everyone who commented and gave Jen credit for that shout out. That was really, really nice, so I could kind of talk back with you and converse, and I've really enjoyed talking to people. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is respond to people's comments, and one lady's been with me forever, and I really enjoy speaking with Nadine and listening to what all she's been doing, because she's been with me for a long time now. Okay, in the beginning you saw me where I was blocking my youngest grandson's sweater. That sweater is actually a very light gray, but for some reason it showed up pink. So it's not pink, it's light gray, and it's going to be like a little hooded jacket. I am going to line it. I'm going to add snaps to the front and probably a little tie just to kind of snug up that part that will go around his face. So that's for him, and you'll see that in stages. The next thing that I want to do is trace around each one of those pieces and make me a pattern so I can do the lining. Now, other things that are going on the needles, I do have one thing getting ready to be finished. That's a Pluto sweater for me. It's a pullover, or some people call them jumpers. That is fixing to come off, and then I'm going to put on the needles kind of a bulky, it's not really bulky weight, but a little bit under that, project for my oldest grandson. He raises chickens, and so yeah, you've guessed it, I've got to knit that comfort chicken and for him, and I have like purple is his favorite color, so I've got purple and I've got some orange and just different colors to do that in. And then after I'm finished with that, I'm going to take the leftovers and knit him a scarf, because there'll be plenty and I'll knit really fast. So he's going to get 2 knitted items from me Christmas. This is Burda 7429. I've made this shirt twice now. The first time I made it was a couple of years ago. I had purchased some Paisley cotton fabric from Hancock of Paducah, and of course he's a full-on quilting store, some decor fabric, but he used to be a full-on fashion store when he first opened here in Paducah. And so I thought, well, that'll make a nice shirt. I like that, so I bought what he had on that remnant table. Now he no longer has remnant tables, but I don't think his prices are really all that bad for quilting cotton. There are some that are more pricey, but generally I think that for the quality that you're getting a fair deal on the price. So I went over to the Hoffman Cotton Linen Blends, and I bought me some fabric that I could use to contrast, and you're going to see why that is. So I gotta step a little closer here, but here is the line drawings, and we'll focus in on this one here. You see the fold back cuff here, there is a cuff band. You see that there's an accent color here that you can do with this. I don't know really what they call these bands, but I just love that detail right there, and I love this double band and collar combination. There's 3 pieces right here, and on the back there is a pleat, and on the front here you see this. I thought that was a dart. That's actually a pleat. I didn't put it in last time, so I didn't read those directions, and this time I just kind of glanced at it and said, oh, that's supposed to be a pleat. The reason I don't is because I'm a little thicker around the middle, and I used that extra room there just to give me some ease. Now, it wasn't enough, of course. The first one is a little bit tight. It is getting looser. I've been going to the gym. That was one of the things that when my husband lost his brother, I said, you know, you and I need to go gym. So we've been going to the gym since March. well, maybe April. And so I've lost 15 pounds. I think he said he's lost about 10. We don't go every day, but we go 3 to 4 days a week. So if you're trying to do a routine, just stick in there. You know, women, we just don't lose weight like men do. And even though I've lost more than him, I kind of had already lost a little bit before I started the gym. So off track. This shirt, I love it. It's the reason that I fell in love with it was mainly because of that accent piece that goes down on the left band. Now that's not really that hard to do. There is a piece on there that you have to kind of trim off. Just pay attention to your pattern. It'll tell you which line A, because it's a pair of scissors. And that's the one you want to trim off. And then it tells you clearly how to put that together, where you'll have both the front and the band facing up toward you, the right side facing up toward you. Now the collar, you want to follow those directions precisely as well, because I didn't do that on my second one. But they want you to piece the collar and the two bands together, and the collar and the two bands together, you know, in sets like that, and then sew them right sides together and turn it, and then you'll stitch in the ditches of those two seam lines that are formed between the collar and the first band, and then the two bands. So you're stitching the ditch, and it kind of locks everything in. Everything is interfaced. I don't think they suggest doing interfacing on here, though I'm trying to remember. Maybe they do. Some patterns won't have that in there. I do that. Maybe I'm thinking about the front bands. I don't think they suggested any interfacing for that, and I put 1 inch in each of the band areas. So on to my first make. It was about probably 2 years ago. I've worn it a little bit, not a whole lot, because I do have that one problem when I'm sitting down, it's just a little bit tight. It's gone from being like this to being more like this now, where it pulls. So it's getting better, which is encouraging. I like my pink detail work that I did, and see how that's just, you know, that's why I bought the pattern right there. I love that. And then I also love these fold back cuffs. They don't get in the way when I'm eating or anything like that. I mean, this is comfortable, other than that one little area. There is a tuck, a pleat also in the back, so that's a nice little detail. But I didn't do the pleats on the front of the shirt. I left those out to give me a little bit extra room, which is a good thing, because if I had done that, I still wouldn't be able to wear this shirt. At least now I can wear it a little bit, and as long as I'm standing, like I said, it's really nice. Let's see. I guess that's all I wrote. I just love this Paisley. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty that is. And that was a remnant off his remnant table when he had remnants. He doesn't do that anymore. Now my second one I made out of a JoAnn fabric purchase. I wanted some solid color linen in a color, like a rusty color, and I found some in Carbondale. And if I'd held it up to the light or looked at it closer, I don't think I would have bought it. It's not loosely woven, but it is a looser woven than it should be if you were to buy 100% linen. That's all I'm going to say. So I think it contributed to the way that fabric laundered. It felt kind of funny when I went to press it. It's an 85% cotton, 15% linen. You definitely can kind of see the linen woven effect in it, but not too clearly. I mean, it's there if you look, but it doesn't act like linen because it's mostly cotton. And I don't think it's a quality cotton at that. So it's probably going to be more like a jacket than a shirt. The length on this one seems a little longer. All over this shirt seems a little different in the way that it fits. It fits pretty good because I allowed an extra ½ inch on the side seams only. So the sides of the back, the sides of the front, those side seams have an extra ½ inch was added. That gave, and it's a 3/8 inch seam allowance, so it gave me a little extra room, and it does fit wonderful in the body area. Now, this is my fabrics. Like I said, I'm not real happy with this linen, but it's okay. I ended up doing a kind of a, I think actually the stitch I used on my machine was the hem stitch, but I used it like a cover stitch to finish the seams. I just didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. I was so disgusted with it by the time I laundered it. Collar detail, I love this cotton here, and I want to link the information about this cotton in my notes so that if you want to find some of this, hopefully you could find this for sale by somebody. I'm actually going to look myself. I think I might add a little detail to the collar to hopefully stabilize all this a little bit more. Again, this collar piecing I did not do according to the directions, and I think that might be part of the problem I'm experiencing with it. I did it like you normally would do, a collar and a collar band. You would sandwich your collar in between the two pieces of band and then turn that. Well, I sandwiched here too on this lower collar band as well, and I think that's why it doesn't do quite the way it should, but I'm not sure. I wished I had gone ahead and put the floral on these two pieces at least. Now I also did the fold back cuff in the floral, but I wished I had done the band part as well. The band is right there, so I wished I'd have done that as well. I just, wasn't thinking. I messed up on this one. I didn't cut my back on the fold like I did the first one, and the reason for that is on Burda patterns, they don't like do what the big four does. They have that little arrow comes up like this, and it clearly points to that line and says cut on the fold right in between. On Burda, a lot of times what you see is the words in small print, and I just wasn't feeling really great when I cut this out. Wasn't paying attention, and later when I saw this, I thought I cut this on a fold before, and sure enough, I was supposed to cut it on the fold. So that pleat ended up being my saving grace because I had that allowed extra bit in there to take a 3/8 inch seam allowance on the back. So I did just that. Of course, I still have some fullness that needs to come out somehow, and so how are you going to do that? The answer is these darts. I took darts. So I took darts to take up about an extra inch on each side that needed to come out to make sure that my slits that marked my shoulder seams on the collar part, this collar band, matched exactly where it was. And I happened to do my math correctly, so it was perfect. So I took 2 darts on each side of my seam in order to solve my problem. Oh, I did notice that this fabric probably was crawling around a little bit when I was cutting it out, because I would go to get ready to sew a seam and I would get myself over to the cutting mat and rotary and I would straighten up seam lines because it looked like it kind of was waving just a little bit, and I thought, oh, that's not straight. So I'd fix that. Another thing that I did is it seemed a little long on me when I tried it on, so I decided to cut off a whole inch off the lower edge and then do my rolled 5/8 inch seam hem in order to finish the shirt tail hem. So that's what I've done on these 2 patterns. I still like the red one more than I like the new one, but I think part of my problem is the quality of fabric I used just didn't perform the way that cotton did. Now, I have been organizing buttons because I found some more buttons. Now, it wasn't a great big stash like I had before when I did this, but I do have a certain way that I like to organize buttons by, are they the same size? Are they the same button? Are they the same color? These are just buttons that are cut off of those ready-made clothes. You know, you get extra buttons and they give them to you either in a pack or they're attached to the garment in some way, and I've cut them off and I just put them in here because if I just need one button, I usually look in a bag like this first. But these are kind of the bags that I use. I get them at the Hobby Lobby or Michael's jewelry department. They have these little tiny bags, and they usually have like a nice gripper. You know, if you pull this apart, you know, if I could, there's usually one side taller than the other. There you go. They have this nice gripper edge inside that makes it easy to pull that open and close it. Like this one. These are all the same button. I could do that right here. All the same button, all the same size. I had, I think, 4 cards of these. So I put them all in this bag. They're in my neutral box, this. My son-in-law gave me this. I have like, let's see, 18. I have 18 of these little boxes. Now, I put buttons according to color. So these are neutrals, meaning they're some shade of brown or to dark brown, like light to dark. It's purple for purple buttons. I have different shades of purple. So some are kind of a reddish purple, and which are burgundy, and some are light purple. But this is the box that I went to when I did my Cocoa Bill dress. I just went to this one and found all the buttons I needed for that dress. Didn't have to go buy a single thing. So if you already have things organized like that, it just saves a lot of time. And these boxes are great. And I'm planning on like labeling the top anyway with the color so that I know what it is. It'd make it a little quicker. These are not used yet anyway. So I've been storing my extra alligator clips in those. And these are great for, you know, if you get those boards, the comic boards, foam boards that are cut comic board size to put your fabric on. These are great for holding that in place. Now, on your thicker wools, things like that, you can't do that. You need the bigger clips. Usually I just use some other kind of clip, or I just kind of fold it where it, and make sure it's tucked in there and not wrinkled. I have all mine done like books, you know, and that way I can clearly see. I always shop my closet first, and then if I can't find what's kind of in my head here, then I'll go shop at a store, and I usually will buy some kind of fabric at that point. Spent a little more on fabric this year than I meant to. I was really good girl at the first 6 months, but the last 6 months I haven't been that good. I've been buying new fabric, and I really shouldn't buy any. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, thank you, Jen, for giving me a shout out. I hope that you've come back to watch me again, and I hope you stick around because the next garment I'm going to put together is going to be a coat using a faux cashmere knit that I purchased at JoAnn's. I've already laundered this, regularly sold for $25 to $27 a yard. And I thought, well, being that high end at JoAnn's, we might be okay. I was a little nervous when I pre-washed. I'm going to admit I was nervous. But to my surprise, it actually laundered really, really well. And I haven't pressed it yet, but I think I want to be careful about that. And then I want to go ahead and cut it out. I probably need to purchase some more stay tape. I don't think I have enough. I really think I'm going to stay tape this in a lot of areas because it is a knit, and knits tend to grow because, you know, everything's pushing down. I might put pockets in the sides, and if I do that, I definitely am going to stay tape the sides there. Might not need to do it under the underarms, but I'm just thinking the weight of the fabric, I probably will want to do that. So stick around, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already.